You've been sending me lots of questions about how an independent Scotland would create money, and the Tories have even been making fun of me in Parliament.
Does the Cabinet Secretary agree with the SNP hopeful and Alex Salmond's former aide, Osama Bouta, when he says that the state literally creates money, it does not need our money?
We have to understand that as a currency issuer, the state creates money. It makes no sense to say that the state has to wait for our taxes in order to have any money. The deficit was an excuse made up by Tories in order to not pay for things. Rather than tell you that they were heartless, they would pretend that we couldn't afford things. But as we know, they'd always find money for the next war. So when the Chancellor says that he can't save every job during the pandemic, he can. It's just he is choosing to make millions of people unemployed. Stephanie Kelton, in her excellent book, The Deficit Myth, says the economy is like a monopoly board. The central bank deals money, it doesn't wait for taxes. The bank puts cash into the game and gives out £200 every time we pass go. If it doesn't do that, no one is able to buy anything. And that's the situation in Austerity UK right now. No dice. What I'm describing is not a new system for an independent Scotland. This is how currencies work. But instead of just fueling the stock market and real estate prices, we'd change the board. We could invest in new green jobs, we could eliminate unemployment, we could finally recognise the important work done by carers, nurses, and other workers we suddenly found ourselves appreciating more during the pandemic. And we could put in money to fuel our labour as long as we closely monitor inflation and keep it low. Why am I banging on about this? I gave up a job in human rights in order to run for office because I was finding that telling people that they have a right to a job or housing or even food is useless if they truly believe that their country can't afford these things. It's time we shatter these myths and raise our expectations. And people will only vote for an independent Scotland if they know how we will practically be able to do things differently. The greatest myth that the Tories ever pulled was convincing us that the state's budget was like a household budget. It isn't. The state can and does create money. So believe this, and let's discuss with this knowledge what we're going to do locally and nationally.